So for a beginner in beekeeping, I normally say that if you're doing beekeeping, you have to get some things right. Number one, the knowledge have to be right. Then the skills have to be right. Then three, you get the right equipment for you to use. So challenge number one in the country is inadequate skills to the farmer. Number one. Number two is the access to high quality beekeeping equipments. Then of course now we have the challenge of having extension workers, specifically on matters beekeeping. So there are three in number, yes, that you can maybe experience along the way as you begin the beekeeping journey. Yes. So number one, I said you need to have the knowledge and skills. That is more than important. And then number two, you need to have a small piece of land. That of course you must have a look at several factors. There must be availability of water, availability of forage away from homestead, and many more others. Then number three, you need to have the right beekeeping equipments. For example, KTBH or Langstroth or log hive. Now with those at the beginning, you can do it successfully. So one is the skills, two is the piece of land, then three, the right standard beekeeping equipments, the hive specifically. Then you'll be good to go. I say that when having a look at those particular requirements is that particular piece of land, it must have some factors for the bees to survive there. That is number one, availability of water, then availability of forage, then of course away from the homesteads. So if that land is having all those factors mentioned there, then automatically it is good for the bees to survive in that particular area. Same case here, we have a lot of forage. You've seen ladies eardrop, we have water and many more for the bees. It is fantastically fine for them to survive. Okay, now you see, for any living thing to survive, there must be the aspect of water. Water is what runs the human body or even the animal body. But now for the bees case, they are using water for different functions. Number one, they use water sometimes to cool down the hive temperatures. And then number two, also to dissolve the hard pollen for them to be able to feed on in the hive. But specifically, they don't use water to make honey at all. Yeah, but that's for two. Cooling the hive, then of course mixing the pollen inside the hive for them to be able to feed on. Yes. So it is very key for the bees to have it. Then of course also having a look at water now outside the hive by the plants to get the flowers, for them to get the nectar. So it happens, it's two-way traffic. Inside and then of course outside the hive. On the apiary, so we're having a look at in two ways. One person is trying to establish an apiary. Then number two, you are managing an apiary. So establishing it is new. There must be water, there must be forages, but now in terms of management, you have a look at the distance to the homestead, so that when opening the hive, you avoid what? The human and bee conflict. Like now you cannot open a hive here. Why? People are around here. So one is the distance to the homestead. Then number two, to the animal sheds and shelter. Now when managing the apiary. And then also you have to do what you call maintaining the apiary hygiene. If you're having overgrown grass, you cut it down. Then also you have a look at the hanging wire and the post. Then of course also you try to grease the hanging wire to control the ants and many more other bee pests specifically. Yes, yes. Now for the shed, it is required for some reasons, in that in case it happens to be too hot within a hive, the bees tend to take more time cooling down the hive rather than doing what? Looking for the forage. So it is a bit crucial for the bees at least to get some shade, yes, to control the hive temperatures within the hive. Okay, so at the beginning we talked about having the right standard hive, meaning it is in proper condition, it is well seasoned, it is dry, okay? So when doing this particular venture, before you go into that, before you purchase any hive, you have a look at what you call the swarming season. Have a look at your area. In this particular area, which months do we have the flowers in plenty? So bees normally swarm in large numbers. It is called the swarming season. That is the right time for you to begin beekeeping. That is number one. Then number two, you need to have a clean hive, free of pests and diseases. Then number three, you can do what you call baiting. Now baiting is the chemical or organic treatment of the hive for it to get bees using different swarm lures. E.g. you can use wax, you can use propolis, you can use what you call lemongrass oil, or what you call the camphor basil, Ocimum species plant, just to lure the bees inside the hive. But of course, baiting is normally a continuous thing. You have to do it every time. And then last, number four, after baiting your hive, you put it in appropriate height, at least high above where the bees normally pass, for it to be occupied or colonized faster. That's what happens there to maintain or to harvest. So in terms of harvesting the honey, now depending on the type of hive that you have, we have a look at two major factors. Number one is the availability of forage in your area. Then number two is the colony strength of your hive. Now, if those two factors remain constant, if you're using that hive called KTBH, in 4 to 5 months, you'll do your first harvesting. In the other one, which you call the Langstroth, you do from 3 to 4 months. Only if there is forage and the colony is strong. Yes. So we do what we call a hive inspection, whereby we open a hive at least once in a month, just to check on the progress of the colony. Once in a month, yeah. To avoid the disturbance of the bees every time. Yes. Yeah, through inspection. But of course, we have those older ways, e.g. maybe you can feel the smell of the honey, but now modern ways, we do inspection. Now the setting cost of a beehive, now it depends the type of timber that you're using. But we prefer, number one, you're supposed to use either pine or camphor or cypress or cedar. But gravelia is normally a no, because it maybe doesn't last longer in terms of durability. But now approximately for you to produce one hive or to buy one hive here, we are having different prices. The KTBH can go for 4,000, the other one can go for 5,500. But now the cost of producing it, they can vary depending on the value of machine and the tools being used to produce this particular hive. So they can vary. Yes, they can vary. Yeah. Now, in a normal scenario with the bee biology and a very strong colony, it's supposed to have from 40,000 to 6,000 bees, 60,000 bees in a normal strong colony, whereby we are now having a very productive queen and the rest. So a strong one, 40 to 60,000 bees in one given hive. Yes, most of them are worker bees. You get the point? So you have to be gentle with them to avoid them absconding after doing your harvesting. You don't harvest everything. Just harvest some part of which you call the super chamber, where you get the honey. The rest, the brood chamber, you don't touch it. So they just remain intact there, because they still have the hive, they have the combs, and many other things for them to survive, even after you have left with your harvesting. Yes. In terms of production, it can vary. Like in KTBH, it's normally from 15 kgs to 20 kgs per harvest. So it can vary. And then now for Langstroth, it is normally from 8 to 10. That is crude honey. Yes, so it can vary. 8 to 10 and then 15 to 20 kgs per harvest. Yes. So you see that this particular bee, they can give what we call propolis. Now the hive is like a factory that is having people working in there. Now they're the bees, people working in the hive. So number one, they can give us the honey. Then two have what you call the propolis. Now propolis is the bee gum. The bees, they get it from the plant saps and resins. Now to make the gum. Now in the hive, it is having two uses. Number one is to reduce the hive entrance to their size to go in that particular hive. Then two is to do what? Disinfect the hive against disease and what? Pathogens. That is what you call propolis. As per now, propolis per kg is going at 4,000 bob. 1 kg of propolis. And then we have what you call the pollen also. Now pollen is a bit 50-50. It's a bee stroke, a plant product. Then a pollen also, it can be gotten there at a very good price. Then you have now the venom. It can also be, you can also harvest the venom. Then now we sell. Now venom is a bit expensive. 1 gram as per now it is 4,000 bob. So meaning a kg it is around 4 million. Then we have the wax. Now wax, we normally get it after processing the comb. Now to get the wax. Now in the wax we can add value, either to make the candle or body cream and many more others. Yes, so there are several, but honey is the cheapest of all those products. I will say this, number one, if you want to do beekeeping in Kenya, please get everything right. Number one, get the right skills and knowledge. Skills on the best type of hive, knowledge on how to manage the apiary. Then number two, get the right tools and equipment. Then number three, try to conserve and manage the environment. And then number four, plant more bee plants. Then number five, do a proper market survey before you venture into beekeeping. So beekeeping, I can say with our experience here, it is more than profitable, because number one, it is having various uses to a human being, whereby number one, for you to invest in beekeeping, it requires little capital. Then number two, it requires little labor for you to do the beekeeping venture or farming. And then also the bees are giving us different products which are having high market value. For example, you get honey. Number 2, we can get beeswax. 3, we can get propolis. 4, we can get pollen, and many more others, which of course can be sold at high market value, then of course make some money in return to any beekeeper or the farmer. Then of course honey is the cheapest of all bee products in the entire country. Of course propolis has higher price, venom, and many more others. So it is true, it is more than profitable to any person who want to venture in bee practice.